Alright, welcome back everybody. We're going to do a tomato review today on this tomato right here, and this is called the Napa Rose Tomato. I believe it's a Wild Boar's Farm tomato, or it's the other one, but it's a created tomato, and it's quite a beautiful tomato. And so let's take a quick look at it here. Now, the one thing about this tomato I want to point out that's interesting is that it has a pearly type of an effect to it. It kind of looks like pearls. It has like a weird kind of haze that makes it look pearly. I don't know if the cameras are able to pick this up, but if you look at this tomato real closely, I'll try to zoom in on it. They look pearly. They got like a slight pearl pink color, so they're not just, your typical pink tomato. It is a pink tomato, but they got like a pearly color to it. They look like pearls a little bit, believe it or not. It's got a strange effect. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera. Let's show you the inside. Okay, that's your typical cherry tomato on the inside. And we're not going to weigh these because cherry tomatoes generally don't weigh very much. They're typical size as far as cherry tomato goes. So we're just going to go right over to the brick scale. I was weighing the cherries, and sometimes I do weigh them, but it's just they're taking too long, and I need to shorten these videos, so. Alright, so let's give that a go. 6 3/4 on the bricks. Almost 7, basically. So that's pretty good for a cherry tomato. It's definitely up there. So let's give this a go, guys. Let's see what that tastes like. Alright, so let's get on with the review. Let's start off with the sweetness. The sweetness was abnormally high. It was very, very sweet, even though the meter was only saying like 7. This thing had a lot of sugar in it. This thing really tasted sweet. I'm going to put that sweetness up there about 28, 29. It was just ridiculously sweet. It was sugary type of sweet, literally. And as far as the tangy part goes, that was up there about 28, 29. So it's unusual to get this kind of combination. But the tangy and the sweet were basically around the same number. So they were very equal in that number. You don't normally get that with tomatoes. Normally, tangy's are always a lot higher and it's more noticeable. As far as the intensity of the flavor, I'm going to put that at about a 6.5 on the intensity. It was a pretty good flavor right up from the upfront side. When you first put it in your mouth and you're eating it, you got the flavor comes right out. And then the aftertaste lingers nice. It has a very nice lingering type of aftertaste. Really love it. So we're going to put that at about a 6.5 on this tomato. It's so far looking really good, actually. It's just a little unusual to get the sweet and the tangy so balanced like that. Normally the tangy is much higher. And this is a little strange, but it's not bad. This is actually really good. I like the effect of having those numbers very, very close, if not the same thing. Moisture, we're going to put that at about 6.5. It was pretty moist, and a lot of them were. A lot of these tomatoes were like, you pop in your mouth. So if you're going to put a whole tomato in your mouth and pop it, you make sure your mouth is closed because those seeds are going to blow out of your mouth and go everywhere. So I'm gonna put that moisture up at about 6.5. It was a good level of moisture to really deliver this really unique flavor package. There was no tardiness or sourness. There were no undertones. There may have been a slight candy type of an undertone, but very, very low. It was way below 1. It was like a half or something like that. There may have been something slight in there. It was kind of like a candy type flavor. As far as texture goes, I'm going to put that about average. Maybe even you could bring that number up to 5.5. And if you really want to go the extra mile, you could probably say 6. It was definitely, the texture was definitely above average, and it was good. Well, above average meaning that the 6.5 actually should be your average, to be honest with you. But you want to be in that, so you want to be above average a little bit, especially with these cherry tomatoes. And that texture was definitely in that range. So the texture the texture of that tomato was definitely pretty good. Production is pretty good. I'm going to probably put that at about a 6 as well. It wasn't super productive, but the plant is still alive and it's still putting out tomatoes. So maybe by the end of the year, I might get 4 or 5 times the amount of tomatoes I'm thinking I'm not going to get. So the production might be really good. But I'm going to put the production at, like I say, around 6, 6.5 for the production. Skins, we're going to keep that at somewhere around, I'd say 7 on the skins. It was pretty good. They broke up with the tomato, no problems at all. It was a very pleasant experience. Seeds, we'll probably keep that at about an average. It seems like it's an average seed, average amount of seeds for this size cherry tomato. So that seems to be pretty average. So let me just touch really quick on the season. The plant seems to be a early to mid season. I was already picking tomatoes off in the first week of July, pretty much this year, and so it's early to mid season. Now they're really starting to come in. It is an indeterminate variety, so seasons really kind of don't apply when it comes to indeterminate varieties. However, I like to use the seasons to describe these because you'll know when these tomatoes start getting ripe first, and so that's what I'm really referring to. And so these tomatoes were basically starting to ripen up right around first week, second week of July. So I was getting them pretty early. Not many, but they were starting to come in at that time. The Rosella's tomato also did the same thing. Oh, and then the plant size itself it's a very slow growing plant to start with. So in other words, when you grow this variety, even though it's a cherry tomato, kind of grow it by itself. It will get big eventually, like 7 feet or something like that. However, the plant is very slow to start. It took a while for the plant to really start building vegetative growth energy. It just took a while, and the other plants already surpassed it by like 3-4 feet already. So it's ridiculous. But it's still growing, and it's just slow. So just keep that in mind. It's a slow variety. I don't know if I should actually name like that its own column. How slow is the damn plant, from growing? And that's it, guys. So how would I rate this tomato from 1 to 10, 1 being the highest? I'm going to actually rate this up there at a 1.5, guys. The flavor of this tomato is very interesting and exquisite. Because of the fact that tardiness and the tanginess were so level, it's almost an exotic type of in the flavor. It really is. It's just a very strange effect you get when you eat a tomato where the tangy and the sweet are balanced that much like that. It's just a very strange type of an effect. And I liked it. I actually liked it a lot. I don't get that very much with tomatoes. Tangy is always higher. All the other numbers on it look really good. The only problem I had with it was the plant growing slow. It's a slow variety. This might be a good container variety. I'll have to experiment with it next year. It's definitely a tomato worth pursuing. The flavor was definitely in there. I really liked it a lot. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's my tomato review for the Napa Rose. I'm not sure if that's one word, Napa Rose, or Napa Rose in 2 words. I'm not sure. So I'll put the correct spelling and everything in the description. I will also put the correct... I will also put the link into the description where you can pick up seeds for this at hrseeds.com if you want to give this one a grow for yourself. And I will include whatever information I can get on this tomato in the description and on the website, and you can read about it there. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.